Hey everyone, welcome back to 3D6 Down the Line. We are continuing with our Megadungeon crawl, The Halls of Arden Vul by Richard Barton. This is episode 32. And I am John. I am your referee going around the horn. Mike is dead to us. He is out tonight, unfortunately. But continuing on.
I'm David. I'm playing Onweir, the illusionist, and party chaos engine.
I'm Matt. I play Avaracios, the left hand of Lysion, level 5 cleric.
And I'm Ted. I'm playing the level 3 goblin Mortis J. Gobliano, Mortis the Manicured.
And wow.
When did you have time to do that?
What a quirk. What a twist. Yeah, it's episode 32. We're using the Old School Essentials system by Gavin Norman. And as many of you may have already discovered, we have a new website up. So if you go to 3d6downtheline.com, we have all of our episodes, both video and podcast versions of both campaigns, both Dumblewood and Halls of Arden Vul, available for you to watch on that website. Plus, we have character sheets. We have useful OSR links in case you are new to the scene. We have merchandising, as you can see below. And what else do we have
I'm
on
your
there?
biggest customer.
Yeah, we have a little about section about all of us with some just delightful details about the five of us. And what else do we have on there? Oh, my house rules. My house rules are all nicely labeled there in drop-down format, which so many people ask about. But you can also access those by just clicking the link in all of my video descriptions. You can find that as well. But it's all nicely, conveniently located in a one-stop shop on the website, which will expand as we go forward. So pretty exciting news. Please go and check it out, 3d6downtheline.com. All right. Anyways, back to Arden Vul.
Oh, boy.
So it is the 21st of Larel. It is 10:30 p.m. at night. It is an hour and a half left before you guys will suffer the effects of fatigue. You have just not looted. You have carefully rummaged through and taken items of value from the corpse of Trusty Iredell, who has suffered death by baboon hands. And you have retreated back to the magical laboratory, back beyond the secret door, closed that secret door so that the baboons could not find you in case they were able to break down the door barrier leading to the magic laboratory. And you have made your way all the way back up, I think is where we sort of left it.
Right.
Yeah, I think we were like running up the stairs.
Yes.
And you said you would worry about what happened topside today.
Right.
I think we're going to worry what happened topside.
Yeah, I don't think John worried very much at all.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm totally cool.
Yeah, I can tell you lost a lot of sleep over this, John.
I am not stressing about it at all. I believe I said that it would be 10:30 by the time you got to the top, right?
Yeah, that sounds
Sounds
right.
right, yeah.
So you do still have, at 10:30, you still have 2 turns left on your silence spell, Avaracios.
Oh, so those were odd steps on the way up. So the spell, as I recall, was cast on Njal, right? So he's just been this little floating bubble of quiet all the way up. But you know what, guys? Maybe when we reach the top, we could all kind of like bundle up together and maybe take advantage of this in case. John, I don't remember. Was there a door at the top of these stairs, or was it just kind of open?
No, it was just open. It was like amidst the ruins, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So as we approach the top of the staircase, we should bunch up and slow down and move cautiously about approaching spider country.
Do you want to, we could I can, with my shield, I can kind of shield the lantern so that not much light is coming up, and you could just like peek over with your infravision. And,
Yeah, I think Mort would do that. See if he can see any spider-shaped heat sources, and move forward slowly, looking around.
Right.
Recognizing it's a real possibility there. Will be spiders waiting to get the jump on us.
Right. Yes. So going back to this priest's residence. I'm trying to remember what I said about that, but I believe it was actually like there was a There was a door, a secret door in the wall. Yeah, because you had followed like the footprints that basically led through all the detritus to that blank section of wall, and then you were able to actually find the secret door. However, it was the spiders that were living up in the upper hole of that basement, where you had the problems, right, where you sent the chicken in and all that sort of stuff, right? So when you kind of slowly move the secret door aside to kind of peer out, you can see that it does not look like much has been disturbed. There is still the remnanting corpses. I can't really remember, of spiders there.
I think we killed 2, right?
Yeah, sounds about right. Those are all still there, but otherwise, other than sort of like the smell, you don't notice anything amiss. You do take a note once again that there were these 3 broken marble statues, as well as the colossal marble right leg of the armored right leg of Arden.
When you say colossal, do you mean Colossus of Rhodes colossal, or colossal like the 6 of us could pick it up and carry it back to the inn?
You could definitely carry it back. It's in proportion to the other pieces that you found, right? And one of which is the head, which is actually mounted atop the end of the broken head.
And what was the piece that we brought back the first time? Was it a foot or a leg? An arm? Was it an arm?
Yeah. Pretty sure it was an arm. Go back and find that in the notes. But we made good money on that, and I'd say we bring the leg back.
Yeah. I wonder, like, if there are all these pieces like spread out all over the city. I mean, we already sold one. Does that just like, is it like taking the action figure out of the box? Is it already kind of like, out of the bag that we can't sell the whole set, which would be worth more? Are we already kind of locked in a path for, selling these piecemeal as we find them, do you think? Or is there, I don't know if there's any reason to like save them up. And
is that the only one that you found? The other one?
We found an arm. I found it here on the 6th of Logarios. We found an arm and we sold it to the sculpture merchants. And I remember at the time, John saying that, and I think we kind of may have shot ourselves in the foot, as it were, but we sold the arm, which means that we are not going to be the ones to reassemble Arden Vul. Now, that suggested that there may have been some awesome thing we could have done with that. On
just
the other hand, 3,000 gold pieces is not to be sneezed at. That was big money we got from those guys. And for a leg, I'd say we would get even more, or we keep the arm or keep the leg and we don't give it to them. But we've kind of already gone down the path of selling off body parts of Arden. So I don't see why we wouldn't continue. If you guys want, I mean, pick it up, take it back, big money, go to Goster, go to the bank, retire.
I mean, because the only other thing I could see is like slowly kind of keeping track of where all these things are over time, and then trying to like buy the arm back or something. But that might get weird.
I guess we could leave this here and investigate whether those guys still have the arm or whether they've already sent it off to wherever their buyers are. Because if they've already taken it away, we might as well sell them the leg.
This is true.
We're never going to get that arm back.
You also have the 3 broken statues as well. Each of them is about 6 feet tall. You have a feeling that they would, those are something that the statue brokers themselves would also pay pretty handsomely for. You think that they would be worth a great deal more if they were actually repaired, in one way, shape, or form. One of them is Horus in a triumphant pose. Another one is depicting what looks to be, you can't really recognize him, but it looks to be like a very important human figure of the Order of Thoth, like a very powerful priest of some sort. One is actually a finely dressed goblin, actually, in Arcantian noble dress.
Anyone I recognize?
No, unfortunately not. The only one you recognize is Horus.
And so would we speculate that if we were to bring these damaged statues down to Gosterwick, somebody in Gosterwick might be able to repair those? Or is this something that might need like magical repair?
No, it just normal repair. But
Okay.
You kind of figure that the statue brokers themselves probably have either that capability or know the right people. You know what I mean? Obviously, they would know the right people. Yeah,
Man, it seems like a lot of trouble to drag those things all the way down.
Yeah, I'd say just sell them. I mean, it's free money. All it costs us is carrying it for a couple of hours across town.
Yeah. How heavy?
It, sell them.
Yeah. How heavy are they, John? How many do we? I mean, we got some burly guys. Can we?
They're heavy as shit. I mean, there's yeah, they're hold on, I'm getting the map of the ruins here. Here we go.
Because we don't have a cart or anything. Like if we had a cart,
right. I mean, we could leave them here. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So the I would say like you like with all of you guys, unless you had some other means, like if it was just using your strength of arms, then you're talking about like one statue at a time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One statue, say the Flock or the Horus one. And John, on this map, we're in the circle labeled ISOs, right?
Hold on a second.
I think so. Yeah, to the kind of what like north of Dalton's.
So it's not horribly far. We pick up one statue, we carry it back, sell it, and inquire about Arden's arm. Hey, who bought that? Where's that thing gone up to? And they say, oh, it's still in the shed in back. Okay, maybe we reformulate the plan. But the way I see it, as a goblin, that's free money. Let's go earn it.
Okay. Yeah, let's which one is in like the most together shape, John?
Looks like Horus is in the best shape.
Mm-hmm.
In his current condition, you think you'd probably be able to fetch like 75 for it, but it would be worth like close to 10 times that much if you were actually able to repair it. 75
gold?
Yeah.
Oh, forget it.
Oh yeah, that's not worth it.
That's not worth that. I thought it'd be like, 1,000 or something.
Yeah, why don't we postpone a repair project for later on when things are a bit safer, and then maybe it's worth us, spending some time doing that. We can chase down the arm later.
Yeah. Maybe we could, kick some leaves and rubble over the arm, or the leg rather, so that it's not so obvious sitting in this hole to someone else who comes down here. Sort of, hide it a little bit, and then let's get out of here. If there's no spiders waiting to jump on us.
Doesn't appear to be.
Okay.
All right. So when you make your way out of the basement and you're in the ruins of the residence itself, there is the twinkling stars are above you in a partly cloudy sky. So it's not completely well lit, you know what I mean? But it's dark. You're not used to actually being out here in darkness as you sort of survey the ruins. The top of the pyramid basically dominates your view to the south. And you can see the twinkling torchlights of the watchtowers to the north as well. And way off in the distance beyond the ruined walls to the northwest, you can see some lights coming from the Broken Head as well. That's way off in the distance. However, you can hear the sounds of multiple creatures moving around in the distance, like on your path to, like in either way, like if you were going to break to the east to get to the main boulevard in order to go through the gate, or if you were going to go as the crow flies directly to the inn, you can hear hushed voices and scrabbling around in multiple directions. And you can see in the darkness, you can see moving shapes that are sort of low to the ground, obviously trying to be surreptitious.
Do these, you say that the shapes are low to the ground. Does it look like hunched over humans? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like beastmen or baboons?
You can't tell.
Okay.
And you can barely hear like what sounds to be voices, but they're very, very low. Like they're obviously trying to be quiet. But it appears to be like there might be like a band of like 3 of them that are actually pretty close to you guys. They're sort of like around the edges of the residence itself, but don't seem to be aware of you at all. One thing that you note is that despite the number of them, none of them appear to be using light sources at all.
Oh.
Yeah.
And you say we could kind of hear them? Are they
You
speaking?
could hear them, yeah. You can't hear what language they're speaking, though.
Okay, just like murmur. Okay.
But more, your infravision is popping off in many, many different directions.
Right, which means theirs will pop off as soon as they see us, to say nothing of any lantern we might have.
Now, you guys are right now like in the middle of like a ruin, so you're sort of obscured by stone and stuff like that. But yeah,
I think it might be worthwhile, crouching in the ruin here and waiting to see if they enter or see what direction the voices go. I presume they may be approaching this, but I'd rather be in here when they arrive than out there.
I agree. Yeah. I was thinking we sit tight, watch them, and jump them if they come close. Otherwise, let them pass and book it.
John, you were saying that like we're really close to starting, to be exhausted. I can't remember though. How long of a rest does it take to recover that much? Is it 10 minutes? Is it an hour? I can't remember about how long.
To recover what?
Like when you're dungeon delving, like every hour you have to rest a certain amount of time.
Oh yeah, that's one rule I did away with.
Okay.
But this kind of fatigue I'm talking about, like you need a night's rest.
Okay, so just like hunkering down for an hour is not going to take care of this. We got to sleep. Okay.
Yeah.
And I believe, if I could, your night's rest rule, it's not just a night's rest, it's a night's rest in a safe place, right? Like even if we set watch, we wouldn't really get rid of fatigue.
That's right. Yeah, you need to be safe. Yeah.
Okay.
Lest I forget, I have a magic invisibility cloak. Should I just go invisible and go check these guys out?
Well, remember, they aren't using light sources. So if they have infravision also, they'll still be able to see you.
Infravision can see through invisibility? Is that within the rule book?
Well, it's invisibility makes you not able to be seen, which is assuming like the normal spectrum of light, basically. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So my question then is, can infravision see invisible? It breaks invisibility?
I did not think it could.
I wouldn't assume as much, because then anyone with infravision could see anything invisible.
Yeah, man, that's
pretty.
I don't know. I was just guessing, like, because if it's just a visual
I understand,
thing,
like the Predator thing, you're kind of going through, but like, I'm just assuming mechanically that wouldn't be the case, but I don't want to gripe too much about it.
That's fine. Yep.
Okay. Why don't I ping off the cloak and poke my head over a ruined wall and look at him, see if I can see anything in the shadows.
Okay. So you can see, let's see, where you are, just looking in the darkness, you can see that they're smaller than man-sized. They are look smaller than they probably are because they are hunched over a little bit. And they are making efforts to hide their appearance. So like they've got like ratty cloaks that are kind of covering their heads and stuff like that. And you're seeing like a troop of like 3 of them that seems to be sort of sniffing around the edges of the residence, sort of peering in at different places. But once again, it's so dark that you can't really make out like what they are, or you know what I mean?
Sure. Can I grab a pebble and heft it sort of in the direction of a clearing that might show a little moonlight? Does that make sense? So they're not like shrubs.
Yeah.
See if they'll like follow the noise.
All 3 of them whip around, and you see another group way off in the distance. You can hear them, probably more likely, like you can hear them react as well. And they let out like an involuntary shout. And when you hear the voices sort of raise an alarm, you can detect them as goblin, like no doubt. And they are, and they immediately whip out bows. Like they quickly like pull like an arrow out, and they string their bow, and they get like real low to the ground, and they're just sort of like looking that direction. And they say something in Goblin, and then they're like one sort of pushes back and then kind of moves forward a little bit, like telling the other ones to be quiet as he kind of moves forward and steps into like that area of moonlight, and looks around, kicks the rock, and just shrugs back at his companions. As you're looking around Onweir as well, you can see that at the top of the pyramid, there is a small flickering torchlight in that open platform at the very top.
As in the entrance?
Yeah.
So these might be our goblin gang.
Oh, yeah.
I think it makes sense.
Above ground. Uh-oh. Interesting.
Well, it's nighttime. Why not? I mean, I mean, I can think of two choices. We either kind of like, I mean, I think they're probably going to come down here if we try to like, hide out. But the other thing we could do is like literally call out to them, like, hey, because we left on friendly terms with them. They liked us,
friendly-ish,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, we set up their new territory for them.
Mort, you can tell from the infravision, Mort. Your infravision goes what 60 feet.
Yeah.
So at least as far as that goes, in the direction of the north, it looks like there's more. Like basically, like you can plot a course that would, if you were quiet, that you could avoid them. If you go to the boulevard and up towards the north gate, it looks like they're avoiding being on like the main lines of sight.
I see.
You see what I'm saying? Like there's more of them that are actually in your path to go directly to the inn. But should you want to take the main boulevard, it looks like they seem to be wary of the open space of the boulevard. In addition to, it looks like they are aware of the guards that are in the towers.
Yeah. And John, you said we have, you said at the top of the stairs, we had 2 turns left on the silence.
Yeah.
Maybe we have 1 turn left now.
That's probably true. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That might help us like scramble out of here.
Yeah.
Right.
So it takes 3 turns to get back to the Broken Head via that route. If you are moving at, if you're moving at 90, which is what my assumption was when I made the calculation.
I think that's
we're all still at 90.
I think you're at 90. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, why don't we do that? Why don't we take advantage of this silence and your infravision to guide us, and we can kind of like thread the needle and book it towards the gate.
I think that makes a lot of sense. I would only suggest the possibility that they are they avoiding the boulevard because of the watchtower? Or are they avoiding the boulevard because of that's the no man's land between them and the baboons or something like that? But I think it's probably the watchtower.
I think it's probably my get would be the watchtower.
Yeah. And looking at the map from where we are, we wouldn't be on the boulevard for that long.
Let's just do it.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. So you head over to the boulevard. Now you are not, those of you who do not have infravision, you're not going totally blind. There is moon and starlight, although it is an overcast night. So it's difficult. You kind of have to watch where you're going. You're definitely like relying a lot on Mort to sort of guide you, but it's not like you're in complete and total darkness. Like you're not blind. Okay. So you make your way up and you're moving very slowly and carefully. I'm going to make a roll here real quick. Okay. And you make your way onto the boulevard itself, and none of the goblins seem to see you. They seem to be, a lot of them are, so as you look back towards the pyramid, you can see that there are a number of goblins that are actually sitting or standing on the steps of the pyramid itself. And you see that the flame that is up at the top of the pyramid sometimes is broken by a moving form that moves across it every once in a while.
Yeah.
And
man, they've really claimed this.
In addition, you see that there are, well, actually, I don't think you would. Because even with your distance, Ted, Mort wouldn't be able to see that. But yeah, they definitely, most of them appear to be west of where you are right now. Like back towards Isocritus' entrance. Anyways.
Did you say they looked like they were looking for something or just snuffling around?
Snuffling around. It's sort of like it looks like they were just sort of have been sent out into various little tight groups, and they're just sort of investigating what's up here.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. In the meantime, as you move north toward the boulevard, you can see that that there is a brazier that has been lit in each one of the watchtowers to the north, right? Like a hearty fire up at the top. However, you notice that normally there would be one guard in each one of the towers. There are, as you approach, you actually see that there are 3 guards in each one of the towers. And two of the guards that you see in the, 2 of the 3 that you see in each one, you do not recognize as staff of the Inn of the Broken Head. The other ones you do. They are the other ones. And as you approach, they shout down. They're like, Who goes there in the dark of night? Are you friend or foe?
We are friend. It is your old comrades, the AV Club.
Strikes fear into the heart of its enemies.
The gravitas, it's
I know it
resonates.
What are you doing out there so late?
Heading to the inn for drink and victuals.
You hear like there's some conversation going on up in the towers, and there's one woman that actually steps out and she pounds her chest and she's like, "Do you recognize this?" And you look and you can see that kind of shining in the firelight that on her chest and emblazoned is the sign of the Winedark Cohort.
Winedark.
Oh.
Is that I can't remember her name now.
Nicasia. It's not Nicasia.
All right, I'll say this is the mark of the Winedark Cohort.
It appears that our job down in the tunnels below has caused people to want to hire us a little bit more.
Business brings business. This is good.
Stirred up the hornets too. Have you noticed all the goblins out in the field?
Goblins? No. Where? What?
Ooh. I thought that's why they were all extra stocking up the guard towers here. Oh, interesting. Yeah,
they're like, well, get through the gate. Get through the gate.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think we should brief them on what's going on out there in the night. That there's a crap ton of goblins running around.
So you see, like all 6 of the guards now have their arrows out, and they're like frantically like scanning the city ruins below as you kind of make your way through the gate. And as you look back, like Mort, you see no sign of any heat now, like at all. But once again, but for one thing, for a fact, like you only have a 60 feet range on that thing anyway, so that could be part of it.
But surely we'd be able to see the torchlight on the top of the tower from here in the night.
From the pyramid. So
yeah. I mean, sorry.
When you look back through after your conversation, you see that the light has blinked out at the top of the pyramid.
Oh,
that's not discomforting at all. Were they listening to us?
And
you can right there.
Well, you're sure, like on the back of your neck, like you can hear like the little pitter pattering of goblin feet like behind you. That's yeah.
I have goblin feet, and I'm nervous. Yikes! All right. Well, yeah, I definitely think we should brief them on the number of goblins we saw out there, and that they are swarming the pyramid and so on and so forth.
Okay. So you want to actually go up the tower then? Go up one of the towers?
I mean, actually, yeah. We haven't really been in or seen these towers.
Let's go up and take a look. Yeah, why not?
Learn something new.
Okay. So when you go up let's say you go up like the western tower of the north gate, the exterior of the tower is largely ruined, but they have done a number of inside. They've actually reconstructed it to be quite thoroughly defensible, and it actually is like really, really nice, like like solid wood stairs that go all the way up, and there are numerous places where there are landings where they can actually fire out from different levels, and each one of those they actually have like a stock of arrows, and then they have pitch, and all sorts of like materials and stuff like that. Now up at the top is sort of like where they actually have their station, so there's like a full thing there, like crates and barrels of food and drink and stuff like that, a small little table, plenty of ammunition, even some backup melee weapons as well, and just some other useful things or things to pass the time and all that sort of stuff. It's pretty crowded up there when you get up to there, and all of you guys are up there in addition to these men and women, and you give them the deets.
Yeah, I want to, get a footstool and push it up to one of the little niches and climb up there, and say we're coming back from our explorations and not say where we were, and just indicate kind of like this range of territory. We saw many goblins. We saw fires on top of the pyramid, goblins there as well. They don't seem to be doing anything other than exploring, but I thought you should be aware that they're out there.
They're peering over the sign that's like, we can't see them, but we appreciate you telling us. I don't know what's bringing them outside. They usually stay in their little hidey holes underground.
Oh, well, you never know what goblins will do. And I look at her.
And if you didn't come out from the pyramid, where did you come from? Did you cross the entire
over
city?
there somewhere? We were exploring. We weren't anywhere where the goblins were. We just saw them, and I saw you guys had put more people on the tower, and I assumed you knew.
Yes.
No, we had no idea.
We're very, very, very skilled at avoiding trouble when we need to.
Now, are you sure that this is like the woman speaking, and she's like, now you're sure these are goblins from down below, like the Arden Vul goblins? Because it's a weird coincidence, because are you absolutely sure they're not Wicktrimmers?
That is a very good question, and no, I'm not certain they're from down below. But if I may, John, Wicktrimmer is like my people, right? And the goblins that are under there are a very different kind of goblin, right?
Culturally, yes.
But physically the same,
Physically the same, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, but my sort of goblin wouldn't run around with just a ratty cloak sniffing the ground, would we? No, we would not. We would be marching around bravely with spears and cloaks and armor, and
that's the impression I get from Mort. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you tell me. I don't know what kind of filth you associate with.
Oh dear.
I mean, it's interesting that you bring up Wicktrimmer. Why would he have goblins running around up here? That doesn't seem like his usual thing.
All three of the Winedark members all kind of look at each other, and then they all sort of look at the inn, the employee from the inn. You know what I mean? They look back at you, and they're like, might want to talk to Kronos and Estelle about that one. I don't know if we have may have actually made a slip of the tongue there mentioning Wicktrimmer.
Oh, interesting.
They won't hear it from me. Any mistake you might have made just now.
It's a name that shouldn't be loose on the lips, if you know what I mean.
We're well aware. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Well, the less said about that, then the less trouble everyone's going to get in later, right? So the point being, there's a bunch of goblins out there. Don't want them to sneak up on you.
We'll keep an eye out. It said if you can do us a favor, when you get back to the inn, if you could talk to our captain, name of Bergdorf. Let him know that there are goblins running around the city, and we'll have him make the best judgment about what to do going forward. In the meantime, any of them that try to approach the north gate, they'll get an arrow in the gullet.
That seems perfectly fair. Excellent. So we've scoped out the tower. We can see that it's defendable, well stocked, and so now there's 3 people in each tower.
There's 3 people. So there's basically 4 Winedark members and 2 inn members spread out between the 2 towers.
So there wasn't anybody like hanging out on the second floor as we were climbing the stairs up to the top or anything like that. It's
no. You've never actually seen anyone have to use like the mid-level ones. It's just in case.
Right.
You know what? Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, David.
Do we see any trapdoors or cellars or any sort of subterranean entrances with these towers?
Not in this tower, no.
We should check the other one maybe.
I don't know how we'll talk our way in there, but I'd love to. When we come in the door, it looks pretty stout, like it can be barricaded.
Yeah, I should have told you that. Yeah, so the door is completely new, right? And new stonework has been put into the jamb in order for it to fit tightly. It can be barricaded strongly with an iron bar that falls over the inside of that door. So they haven't fucked around. You have no reason to believe that the other tower would not be the exact duplicate.
Right. And they have water.
They have water supplies. Assessing, just because you're on your adventuring careers and stuff like that, you could probably make the assessment that should they have to bar the doors and under siege, that they could probably withstand a normal siege, barring magical or large beasts or something like that. They could probably withstand a siege for probably like 2 weeks.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Substantial. That's just based on food and weapons.
Yeah.
Anywho, so I'm going to say that going up, the conversation going back down is going to take like 2 turns. So now it is, the silence is over, and it is now 11 p.m. exactly.
Okay.
All right.
There are a couple of things to do before we leave these guys. I don't know if you want to talk to them tomorrow, but I had an idea. Mort, here he is, just one of the cream of the earth, one of the best goblins you would ever meet. Just in case maybe we were to ever be yes, I'm talking about you. I see you right there. Just in case maybe we were ever to be separated, maybe you could work out some kind of signal that he could give you from a distance so that you could know it's him and not give him the arrow in the gullet that you're promising to the other ones. Like he gets drunk at the end and starts wandering over. You don't want to.
Well, Mort, are you wearing like a helm? You are, right?
I have a helm. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be very Arcantian in nature. Like it would have that kind of Byzantine look to it. So it would be, maybe we could even say it has a, what do you call it, Ted? You would know. What do you call the comb?
A crest or
crest, yeah.
The comb. There's different words for it,
yeah.
But I mean, if I'm wearing Lorica segmentata, my preferred helmet would be of a similar style, and
that would be a dead giveaway. Like none of the other goblins that you've seen look like that.
Yeah, maybe just to be sure, you could put this up by your forehead. For Lorica, so that they know it's you.
Yeah, for those listening, that was a big L on the forehead.
Just for safety,
of course.
And I got to tell you, as a priest, your pastoral care sucks. You're like just terrible at this.
What? It's also for Lycion.
Yeah.
I don't see you wearing it.
I don't need to. Nobody wants to shoot me.
I wouldn't be sure about that.
And to prove that I'm too nice, I would also like to, I can't really buy you a round of drinks because there's no bar here, but he'd leave a couple of gold for each. So he'd leave 12 gold for the
nice.
When you're back to get the drink on me.
They are all like astounded by that, and they're like, that's always why this is the inn member, the inn employee. He's like, that's why you're our favorite to see coming towards us out of the ruins. No one else treats us like this.
Well, hopefully it will improve your aim at anything chasing us as we come.
Well, the veterans are actually like, they pat like their coin pouches. They're like, we haven't even had time to spend all the money we made from you guys last time, and they clap you on the back, and that was a good time. Yeah.
God's willing, you'll have plenty of leave to spend it on.
Okay. All right. Anything else down up here? Done. No. Okay. Moving back down. You're going to head straight towards the inn, or you want to do any other exploration around here?
I mean, there's a pretty well-worn path between here and the inn.
Yeah.
But there's also the city walls and their ruins along the way, which I don't know that we've ever really looked at. We could do that, or we could just go straight back.
I also think, David, you had a good idea. Just give a careful check around the base of both towers, just in case they haven't already, to see if there are secret, sneaky entrances that sure. Maybe they don't know about, because that's the one thing you got to worry about in any kind of siege situation, is somebody sneaking up behind your walls.
Yeah, I mean, I think any sort of cellar door, also anything that might indicate a subterranean passage.
Sure.
So let's do a quick survey of the towers, and then maybe we walk along the wall per Ted's point on the way to the end, just to sort of have a more granular sense of what's on this side.
Okay. Yeah. So you are you do your perimeter search around the tower bases themselves. It's going to take another turn, and you do not find anything. It does appear to be exactly as described. It does not. Okay. Cool. They don't appear to be hiding anything, or to be unaware of certain secrets. You don't seem to find anything. As you move westward, hugging close to the exterior of the wall. Is that right? Like on the other side of the city?
Yeah, the outside of the city.
Yeah,
the safe side.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Okay. So as you are moving towards the inn itself on the other side, hugging close to the wall, you actually, let's see here. Okay, so
Trip over a bunch of goblins.
It's almost exactly right, Mort. So you're shuffling close to the wall, and the wall basically is like there's shrubs and hedges and stuff like that, thorny growth that's basically like obscuring all of like the land that's sort of in front of there, and so you're kind of moving around that. And as you are moving carefully, you actually you move through some hedges, and you actually hear like an ow, and the bushes shake, and like 3 goblins actually sort of like pile out of there, and they're in a what do you call it, like a cacophony of steel brandishing and all that sort of stuff. They kind of like pick themselves up, and they kind of get their spears ready, and they look a little bit hastily over their shoulder, like back towards the inn, which you can see brightly lit. And there's some moving figures that are around in the yard, even this late at night. It appears that there's something going on at the inn, but you are in basic darkness right here. However, should you make a if you really shout, you could probably be heard at the inn. Anyways, but these guys kind of roll to their feet with the spears, like, what are you doing?
Easy, friends, easy.
How are they dressed, John?
They are armed and armored. They're wearing pretty shoddy, like leathers and chainmail. They look very similar to the ones that you saw below.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And they said to you, sneaky sneaks, sneaking up on the sneaks. What do you think you're doing?
We're going about our way, friends. What's the goblin leader's name? I can't recall.
I can't remember his name either. So I've got it here somewhere.
I'll look on the notes real quick.
The king?
The guy that I was talking to.
Yeah.
Like Long Neck or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember his name.
Jelly Neck, Rubberneck.
I can't remember his name either.
Okay, we'll find it here. Let's see.
We'll find it. We got this. Okay, by the time you guys find it, I'm gonna go tuck that kid in, and I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Is it
Bottleneck? Was it Bottleneck?
Bottleneck. We're in basic speed. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Easy, friends. We are in good graces with Bottleneck. I'm sure you know him well.
They're kind of they're moving around like little startled birds. They're like looking at you. They're like, yes, we recognize you. We recognize you from the battle in the halls. Yes, against the halflings. Yes, you talking to Bottleneck about dealing.
I did. I spoke to Bottleneck.
And then, like, one of them is like, he's like, shame. You were supposed to come down and see the big boss of the wet caves. You're supposed to talk to Killick. You never came to talk to Killick. Bottleneck, he's so sad. What are you doing up here? This is goblin territory now.
No. You're outside the wall, pal. This isn't goblin territory.
He shrugs. He's like, it's only a matter of time. You see, it's a flat circle.
Yeah. I'd be wary of others who disagree on that point, friends. But I'll say nothing I won't contest your claim.
Yes, it's only a matter of time. You come talk to Killick. He has a master plan, a plan that he has to get approved by the king, but a little reconnaissance never hurt anybody, right? Just going to see what all these pretty lights are beyond. Pretty lights.
Those pretty lights are well-defended territories of the folk here. I wouldn't test yourself against them.
Who are they? What are the defenses? Let us know. We can exploit them together. Take it over for the king.
I love this.
Come, give it the goods. Give it the goods.
And what position would we be given within the kingdom if we were to help you to do such a thing?
Humans, tall, mighty humans, helping us goblins. You would sit at the right hand of the king. You would be able to whisper in his ear, determine policy, I'm sure. Set and determine policy. Execute policy, even.
Yes, and I know great dark secrets that only my kind possess that your king could get great value from.
He's the one. They're like talking to each other. Like, that's the one. We saw him. He floated in from the darkness, unseen, and then appeared in the neck, and the dagger was in the halfling's throat.
He's a terrible, dangerous man. You should be cautious.
I'm gonna turn to Mort and say, Well, my friend, what do you think? What?
I think they should remember that beyond the walls are the territories of Kronos, and they should tread carefully, and there will be no conflict between these two peoples. They have much within the city that they may take without contest.
You are cautious. You are cautious. We are cautious. It's only a matter of time, of course. If now is not the time, of course not. Not enough. You say it's well defended. We agree. But shh. Should you go forth to the inn? We were never here.
Fine. I didn't see you, and, young man, you didn't see me or my friend. We were never here either. Deal?
Understood. And he raises his hand to give you some sort of like obscure underground goblin handshake that he assumes you know, but you have like no idea what it is.
I'll do whatever the Legion, thing is that we do in the Legions.
And they're like,
no, that's not
okay.
It, Matt. No L on the forehead.
For Legion, it's what it's for.
No.
Okay, so they kind of scuttle off into the darkness then, and you continue on, right?
That is extremely disconcerting.
Oh, they're everywhere. This is the entire plateau is infested with fleas at this point.
Yeah, we're gonna find them like under the covers when we go to bed. They're gonna be in there stuffling around.
We know what the word is for this, right? What's the word? Feckin'. Exactly. That's right. Feckin'.
Oh my god.
Okay. So
we need one of those like nerve gases that sinks down in deep into the tunnels. It's like a heavy gas. That's the way to go.
Yeah,
well, totally. A goblin bomb. Like
goblin bomb. Exactly.
Goblin bomb. Yeah. Okay. So as you make your way back into the yard of the Inn of the Broken Head, as the goblins described, you see that there is some unusual movement. Like usually at this time of night, everyone would be in bed, right? But the lights are on inside, and you see that there are. You can see that the back door of the place is open, but then the light is shut off briefly as you see two members of the Winedark Cohort actually hurriedly moving out the back, carrying a limp form between them. Out the back towards what appears to be the stables.
Let's intercede. I'm curious.
Yeah.
I'm going to trot over loudly and performing my best blundering idiot and see what they're up to.
Okay, they immediately drop the body in surprise. They're just like, and then, like the body just goes, hits the ground, and they're like, sorry. Oh, who are you?
Oh there, friends.
We're the AV Club.
They kind of look around and like you can see one of them actually like kicks the mounted form like behind them. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna proceed walking forward to see what this form is.
Look, it's not what you think. One of them's got their hands up, sort of pleading that. The other one has a hand on a sheathed sword and sort of standing behind and is kind of set. You know what I mean? Like just kind of watching, but obviously knows what they're doing. It's not what you think. Listen, little bit of a goblin infestation, not a big deal. Just kind of taking care, making sure that the floor isn't messy inside. You know what I mean? Estelle doesn't like that.
So are we close enough now to see, like, is this a human figure that they're carrying out? A little goblin? What were they carrying?
It appears to be, you can see sort of, my vocabulary is not there tonight. That is peeking out from underneath a shroud is like a goblin head. And its tongue is like lolling out the side, and its eyes are sort of bugged out, and it's like drooling. It's like blood is sort of leaking out the side of its face.
I'll walk up to the goblin and kind of look down. I don't recognize him, right? It's not Bottleneck or somebody.
No, it's no recognizable goblin. However, you can tell by the clothing that it wears that it is not like an imperial goblin. It appears to be one of the underground goblins.
Yeah, I'll just sort of make a face and walk off. But I'll stop and then look back and say, "What? They get inside tonight?"
Well, looks like we caught one wandering around the yard. We got a little bit too close, but he paid the ultimate price for it. Nothing you need to concern yourself for. It's still a welcoming place. We've been told to tell anyone coming that Kronos and Estelle still welcomes all comers except for goblins. But we just want to make sure that, sometimes violence does occur, and we are close to the ruins after all, and we're just trying to keep the place safe for Estelle and Kronos. A little added security, that's all. They're a little bit on edge these days, that's all. Nothing to worry about. Go inside. I'm sure there'll still be fresh food there for you.
Av will take a close look at him. You don't look familiar, do you? Like these aren't any of the ones that we hired, correct?
They probably are. I mean, the Winedark Cohort is like a large group, right? You only took like a section of them. You hired a section of them, so.
Yeah, I mean, it would be more of whether he recognized us. Yeah. Obviously, he would recognize us because.
Right, that's true. Yeah. So they probably recognize you. Yeah.
I mean, pretty distinctive.
Who's hired the lot of you up here? It must be a hefty bit of coin.
Oh, that's Kronos and Estelle, the proprietors. Wow. You've been here before, right? You've stayed here.
Of course. That's a high price to have personal guards patrolling the whole plateau. Eh?
We aren't cheap, and they sort of, show off themselves a little bit. Like we're worth every penny.
We will know this. Yes.
We'll fight your fight if you've got the right amount of coin, and if all it takes is just for us to post up at an inn and make sure that no goblins get inside, then that's the job we'll do.
Are you patrolling around at night? What have you done to keep the protection up?
Patrolling, a little bit of added security in the towers as well. And during the daytime, we're making regular excursions briefly beyond the walls, not too deep. We do value our own hides after all. We're just been told to keep an eye out for any goblin sightings. There's a name on their lips that we don't like to repeat, but that name has Kronos and Estelle quite worried.
I'll lean to beckon him close and ask in a whisper, "Is it Wicktrimmer?"
It is indeed.
All right, okay, enough said.
Well, if you talk to Bergdorf, who's talked to Nicasia about it, it took some convincing, actually. It's like to be frank about it, and they kind of kicked the body a little bit more behind them. Not to speak out of turn, but the last thing we want to do is make an enemy of Wicktrimmer ourselves. But Kronos and Estelle had a surprising amount of money. It is always surprising how money can convince one to do certain things.
Tell me about it.
Sorry.
No, go ahead, David.
We never really explored the inn in any real sense, did we?
You did.
No, nobody really did that.
Oh, did I miss this? Was I gone?
I just remembered what Matt did under there.
Yes.
This whole time it's looking at us like, wow.
Oh my God.
I was waiting for you to make the connection.
I did.
Wait, what happened? I can't remember. Sorry.
Yeah. Remind David and the listeners out there.
Okay.
I think David was out. Yeah.
Yeah, you were out.
Have it, Matt.
Okay. So in your honor, Av went invisible using the ring, snuck down into the cellar, explored around, didn't find any passageways or out, any ways out, but he did find a cask where apparently Estelle and Kronos were keeping their I assumed it was money, but important things, right? Mm-hmm. And so he just from the bag got some red paint and painted a W on that barrel and just left it. Didn't take anything from it.
Well, you reap what you sow. Now we have an entire mercenary company here.
The Chaos Apprentice is on duty.
I love it. Yes, that's perfect. All right. That in mind, I guess what I was going to ask these guys, might as well anyway. Are there any points of egress or weaknesses that we should be aware of the goblins might infiltrate the inn with? Back doors, cellars, etc.
They kind of look around this. Well, the whole place is open. They can approach from any side. I assume it's only the reputation that Kronos has here amongst some of the power players in the dungeons below that keeps keeps folks at bay. But who knows with goblins? But we're not talking about. Are you saying that these are goblins from underneath? Because we were told that we should be looking out for imperial goblins, like that maybe. Like, you should be careful. They may look like this king's goblins, but they might be actually trying to dupe you. I wouldn't put it past Wicktrimmer. They might be his agents, city goblins, imperial goblins that are actually dressed to look like denizens of the underground. Be wary. Wicktrimmer is nothing if not extremely canny.
Man, I cannot believe what a hornet's nest you kicked up, Matt. This is ridiculous.
it's just good that we have absolutely no beef with him and no friction at all.
Yeah, I'm pretty tempted to go sleep in the shrubs somewhere and not even let Kronos take a look at me because he's probably not going to be happy about it.
So to answer your question on where the Winedark Cohort has been told that the inn is basically non-defensible. Right, like if there's a mounted force that like a real attempt to take over the inn, there's little people could do. They could board themselves up inside the inn, but you throw a torch in there, it's all over. They are aware that there is like a quick escape via the horses in the stable if worse came to worse, and they have been told that there is a basement where valuables are stored, but they weren't given the details of those valuables. Just that there is like a hidey hole, but it's not really like a secret thing. You know what I mean? Like when Avaracios found it, it was just a typical trapdoor behind a bar, like where there would normally be one to access a basement. So,
When you did that, Avaracios, did you look for secret doors or any ways to enter into the dungeon?
I did. I didn't find anything.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. That's my main question mark.
Yeah, they don't have any knowledge of
Seems
that.
to me that they would want some sort of. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Why don't we push open the old Wild West doors and announce ourselves to the innkeep?
Come on in. They'll be happy to see us. We can help keep things secure. We're a strong group.
So they continue to take care of the body. They're like, you're not going to have to worry about this. And then you
I would whisper something else to the soldier that he hide it well, because if the city the Arden Vul goblins find it or discover what you've done, it'll rile them up.
Yeah, they're like, if it's the Arden Vul goblin, sure, but don't you worry, Mort. There will be nothing left of this body, if you know what I mean.
It doesn't taste that good.
They're not that hungry.
Wait, how do you know?
They tell you they're likely going to burn it. They're going to.
It was a long march on campaign. What can I tell you?
When you go into the inn itself, okay, so the inn is basically, there's no one in the common room except for a very, very sleepy Kronos, who is like behind the bar, and he's just got like really dark circles under his eye, darker than a night's lack of sleep would indicate. Like there's something else that's going on, right? But he looks just frazzled. His hair's just sort of poking out. It's a little bit more sallow-faced than normal, and not his normal jovial self. But he looks up and he's like, "Oh, well, this is a night of many surprises, but I shouldn't. I guess this is the most pleasant of them. It's good to see you, lads."
Kronos, how the hell are you?
Not good, friends. Not good. Oh, I hope I don't have you. If you guys didn't have any part to play in what I'm having to deal with now. Oh God, it looks like I've got that goddamned goblin with his eyes on me now. That's why I left Gosterwick, was so I could escape the eyes of the government.
Well, there's a goblin in government. Have we met the goblin in government? I don't know.
It might as well be
that banking goblin.
No, you might be under the impression that it's the Blue Lady who's in charge. It's not the truth. Everyone knows what really runs things in town is the Benevolent Brotherhood. And we all know who's in charge there, don't we now?
Yeah, we do. So, John, if I'm just to check here, like, it's still the 21st of Lagarios, right?
Yep.
So, like, we were here this morning. This has all happened in, 12 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Or, well, probably more like 16 or 18, I guess, probably. But he really lost his shit when he found that W on that crate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would be curious. I mean, What happened?
Well, I don't want to go into all the details, but let's say that we do a little bit of side business that may be on the outskirts of the law per se, and we've you got to do what you've got to do out here in the wild, and we've put a few things away that maybe were a little bit ill-gotten. No one ever got hurt because of it. No one who didn't deserve it anyway. Well, it appears that of all people to have found out that we've got this little stash, it'd be Wicktrimmer himself. God damn it. Ooh. Well, Estelle's got...
Go.
Go ahead.
And what do you intend to do if he comes knocking upon your door, friend? Do you have somewhere to flee to? Do you have some safe haven?
Well, I'm already talking with Estelle about calling it quits here. I don't know how much... I think my time is marked here. I had the extra security, of course, what you've noticed, but I don't know how long that's going to hold up. And should there be a concerted effort, I don't know if even the Winedark Cohort can hold them at bay. And if Wicktrimmer catches the ear of the Blue Lady, then it's the Knights of the Azure Shield we're talking about, and then it's all over for yours truly. So Estelle and I, we're thinking about leaving shop, heading north to Whiskenlands. Not really sure, though. It's all just happened all of a sudden. Ah, God, it roils my stomach.
I look very knowingly at Avaracios.
That sounds awful. I can't imagine what could have happened just to turn things around so quickly.
And I just saw you this morning.
That's right.
When you say a little
suggestion, go ahead, Ted.
When you say a little stash, you're not talking about the funny little vials of liquid you were getting from Heliogobulus.
Oh, well, let's not get into details there, friend. Come on now. It's some
just
stuff.
Wondering. I'm just wondering what could be so naughty that it would rile everyone up so much.
Ah, look where you're standing there, friend. You've been down in the depths. There's nothing but naughty stuff down there. The vials are the least of it.
Really? Wow. You are a man of many hidden talents, Claren.
They can have it. They can have the goddamn stash if they want. I'll keep my wife and myself safe if that's what it takes. I'll leave it all behind. Start over anew. There's plenty of ways to make money. Although
that's true.
God, this was a good gig, though. It was a good gig. So he looks like he's like really like he's obviously just he's thinking about all this stuff like right now. It's only had like a day to kind of think about it, but he's very fraught.
Kronos, go get some sleep. Let me tend the bar.
It's not your place. Not your place. I don't know if you could actually belly up to the bar, as it were, and he gets a little bit of his own
barrel, but
you can forehead up to the bar.
Forehead up to the bar.
Estelle's in bed. She's already not feeling well, of course. She's of the mind that she wants to plead her case to Wicktrimmer himself. I don't know if he's even going to grant an audience. But listen, if you're going back to Gosterwick, if you would be so kind as to escort her, I'd call it as a great favor. You don't have to meet with the man himself, but just deliver Estelle to Gosterwick. That's all I ask. Just want her safe to Gosterwick.
Would you prefer that we speak on your behalf and you stay?
I'm not going to see Wicktrimmer.
God no. No, it's got to be her. Got to be her or me.
I think. I mean, it is only it's the least we could do, right? You guys have been only good to us, and we have been only good to you.
It's just just providing companionship on the way down so that she can be safe. That's all.
I see no issue with it, and of course, it's something we were maybe thinking about doing tomorrow anyway.
Yes, we absolutely would escort Estelle.
He thanks you kindly.
Does he thank us kindly with meal and a drink?
Yeah, he'll give you a night's stay for free and a meal.
Oh, nice.
Excellent. That's it?
Listen to this guy.
I mean...
Hey, Matt, I can't remember. Do any of us know what Av did?
I think... No.
Yeah, okay. I
don't think I told anybody.
I don't feel bad taking a meal and a drink, but if I knew what you'd done, I'd be like, oh, no, I can't take it.
Ted, what is your apprehension about meeting Wicktrimmer? Aside from
he
being the head of
our
Facebook.
Larel stuff. Anything that belonged to Larel, he wants, and he will kill us to take it if he gets the chance. We cannot meet with Wicktrimmer. We should never lay eyes on him again. And if we do, we can't have the stuff with us.
Yeah, I mean, we have to work out something because we do want to get some of our stuff.
Yeah, you actually do have stuff in his bank. You know.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I don't think we can just like paralyze ourselves from accessing the bank.
I mean,
he's not saying Ted's not saying that. He's saying that it's what Ted is surmising. I'm not saying this is the truth. Is that you don't want to meet face to face with the actual man Wicktrimmer, but it doesn't necessarily mean you can't take advantage of his business. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
And like, for example, I would not wear the pin into his building. I would go elsewhere and send someone else to go into the building, or leave the pin somewhere else, or what have you. But there's no point in flaunting it in front of it and making him decide on something rash in the moment.
So just to be clear in like game terms, I am not forcing you to go to Gosterwick. This is just sort of like when you guys do decide to go to Gosterwick, Estelle will go with you. Although it's only been like less than a day since they've discovered this or drawn these conclusions, but she will have to go eventually because she doesn't want to wait too long before she pleads her case. But a few days or whatever like that, like if you want to do some more dungeon adventuring and stuff like that, that's totally fine. Like it is not in their mind like crazy, like they've got to get there right now. It's just like Estelle would like to get back to Gosterwick to plead her case. So that's all. That's all.
Right.
Okay. Like one of the things I was thinking is that with some of the places that we were thinking about exploring, I think it would be really good if we did have Setsbane with us as part of the team, since maybe we were discussing maybe looking out to the west. And there are rumors of Setites and Setite priests and stuff out that way. So that seemed like a wise thing to do. So we might actually be going down to Gosterwick pretty soon.
Cool. So you as you're thinking about like bedding down for the night, you're tucking into like your sort of cold meal at the middle of the night. Yeah. You're very very tired as well. The first time you actually notice, and it's very much like an Aragorn moment, like in the Prancing Pony.
Wondering.
Yeah, you see like a dark figure like arise out of the shadows, like lighting a pipe is like the first giveaway that he's there. And this apparently is the Captain Bergdorf.
Captain Bergdorf.
Yeah. So Bergdorf is where Dalton was sort of like a handsome, dashing swashbuckler type of adventure. Bergdorf is like handsome and good looking, but in like a much more like rough around the edges sort of, right? He's like your where if Dalton was a Roger Moore Bond, Bergdorf is more of like a Daniel Craig Bond, right? It's like a little bit more rough, right? Yeah, but both like devastatingly handsome in their own particular way. But you can tell that the way he carries himself is almost exactly the same way that Nicasia carries herself. In fact, it's so uncanny. The assuredness in which they move and the way that their gaits are, that you in the movements of their body, that you almost think that they may be related, possibly. That's how uncanny. But whatever it is, it's sort of like this is a guy who knows what the fuck he's doing, like big time, right? Got a 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah,
good looking guy.
Oh, well, that right there is enough.
Yeah.
For,
Does any of you mentioned his gait and his that sort of thing? Does any of that like suggest ex-legionnaires?
Yes, definitely.
Like,
yeah,
ex-military.
That's a good question, actually. Yeah, Mort would be able to pick up on that. Yeah. So it's got the kind of veteran, very kind of wolf-like movement, and he stands up, and even more sort of strange is he sort of like stands up, makes himself known, he's not trying to slip out, but doesn't say anything to you. He just sort of looks at you, completely neutral face, but you could tell he's just sort of like doing like a Terminator readout on you, like your threat assessment. You know what I mean? He's just like, like reading you, and then he just sort of steps into a back room of the inn and disappears, bringing his cloak around him, and moves away.
Listen, you two. So Everest has not shared with us that he's the responsible person for this.
I don't think we knew he did.
So,
yeah, no.
Okay, so okay. Why do you think Wicktrimmer would suddenly garner interest in an inn that's been here for months, years, common to everyone in the region? I almost I'm almost positive the Wicktrimmer is aware of it and probably unconcerned. So what would have instigated such a dramatic reaction as to invade
so
the
we're
premise?
still in the common room?
You are,
Yes.
yeah.
I have no idea.
Are you on?
do you wink? I mean, is there any kind of like hint?
On where are you asking Kronos, or are you asking
all right.
the?
No, I'm
party.
asking
We're
the
down to
party.
our meal
I'm
here.
speculating. I'm speculating to decide why we think Wicktrimmer, who has, if our information is correct, essentially is the de facto leader of Osterwick and would have every ability to have interceded with this inn long before now. And so I'm asking, without knowing, right, why we think that would have suddenly happened, and what the intent might be. Because as a player, Snowball. If for instance, hypothetically, Wicktrimmer doesn't know what the fuck's going on right now, and we escort the inn's maiden down and make a big show of it, that makes the problem worse, not better. Now we're announcing it to Wicktrimmer rather than like snipping it in the butt. So like, I'd rather rat on Avaracios than not really, but you know what I mean? Like, I'd rather like find a fall man and like diffuse the situation than escalate it by bringing Wicktrimmer in it if he isn't actually.
Like more non-where like
you
agree. Both of you guys who are not in the know, based upon everything you've seen and the assumptions that everyone around you has made, none of it adds up, right?
No, that's up.
I'm very suspicious. I think Avaricios would kind of give you a smile and a wink and like a out of eyesight of Kronos, like
in your head, Avaricios, there is another thing in there that is absolutely like laughing hysterically and just like sending like massive amounts of endorphins, like, you know what I mean, like you're just sitting there just like beaming. You can like the rest of you guys can just see Everest just like sitting in like a pig in shit, It's just like
gentlemen, shall we get some fresh air real quick? I believe I may have
why don't we tell Yost and Sam and y'all to go going up to the room and hit the hay. They don't need to stay up any later. We're gonna talk this out with Kronos because they don't need to hear this.
You're gonna have a confab, sure.
I think it's a party only confab here. They should get some sleep. They look tired.
Okay, cool.
we have to talk to Bergdorf too, right?
I would like to, but I don't want to.
He has disappeared, but Kronos is there. But you can see Kronos too is like he's ready to. He's basically dead on his feet. Like he's almost. And so are you. Actually, you guys are as well.
Yeah,
it's very tired. But speaking of the actual player needs, we also need to take a break, or at least I do.
Oh, it's break time! Oh my god!
Void bladders re-up on drinks, and we'll get back to the combo with Kronos in just a second. Okay, so we were just about to. You sent the NPCs up to bed. And you guys are going to have a little midnight talkaroo with Kronos.
Gentlemen, would you like to have some of my mystical tobacco outside? I can pack it into my wizard's pipe.
The old Arcantian leaf.
Boys, it's so late. What is it exactly that you've got to keep me down here for? So I fed you. I gave you a bed. Come on now. It's been a rough day.
Lock the door and go to bed. We just want to hang out a little bit longer and finish our beers.
Oh, I thought you wanted to talk to me about something. Very well then, that's fine. All right, well, lock up, turn off the lights after me. Actually, don't worry about it. Bergdorf will take care of it. We've got men working all night long.
All right. Good night, Mr. Kronos, sir.
Okay. So there is the common room is basically yours. You do see pass by the windows outside every once in a while you're talking. You see like a member of the like a Winedark actually like move past. It appears that there are a total of 10 were hired. So there are 4 that are currently at the North Gate Towers, and there appear to be 6 that are sort of walking around doing rounds here on the at the inn. Yeah, David.
Love it. Before Kronos goes to bed, can I say, friend, strange request, but would you mind if I throw like 10 gold on the table? Could I just refill my draft on my own as you're in bed? Is this sufficient?
His eyes get wide and he's like, yes, that'll do. Help yourself then.
All right. I just want to be able to snoop around behind the bar if I need to. So
sure. Don't forget on where you need to take that off. And Avaracios, you need to take off the 12 that you gave.
I already did.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I just did it down. All right, so let's go outside with our brews. And
we could probably just sit here.
Okay, let's do it. I'm gonna walk with that in mind. Once he goes upstairs, I'm gonna walk behind the bar to go refill my ale, and I'm gonna. You should
refill mine for verisimilitude as well.
Yeah, of course, I'll refill them. I'm gonna do a very close inspection of like the bar back, any sort of latches, buttons, hidden crossbows.
Yeah, so
anything that seems like it might be back there.
So Avaracios Avaracios did do that when he was back there.
And you don't know that.
No, you wouldn't know. But I'm just saying, like, so you see the same thing that Avaracios did, which was a loaded crossbow. Did I say that there was like a club back there too? If I didn't, there probably is one of those too. Yeah. Now the trap door, is there. It's not hidden at all. However, Avaracios can corroborate if he wishes to. But I'm just going to tell the whole group, although Onweir and Mort would not know this, that there is a much newer, much bigger, much more complex lock that has been put on that trapdoor. There also appears to be directly in the center of the ring in the lock is like on one end of the trapdoor, right? Directly in the center of that wooden piece. There is a scrawled insignia that is also brand new.
A magical insignia, perhaps?
It sure looks like something magical, yeah. There is it is glowing very, very softly, like so softly that you wouldn't even be able to tell that there was a light if you were standing in front of the bar.
Would it appear to be anything affiliated with an alarm spell, in my knowledge?
Can't say. Okay. The most I'm giving you is that you're pretty sure it is an arcane symbol of some sort.
Right. So,
all right,
you gonna fess up, Av, or
you gonna bring the drinks back over?
I'll bring the drinks back over. Yeah.
Yeah, bring us around. I have a funny story to tell you. This is great.
All right.
So if you don't want to take the time, that's totally fine. Like we don't need to role play it out since everyone does sort of know what happened. Unless there's some sort of clear message you want to get across, Avaracios.
No, I mean just the tone that he was giving is A, he kind of thought it would be funny, and B, he also liked the idea of just like having their attention on other stuff, right? Like not what we're doing, not what was going on down below, just have them worried about their own business as opposed to overly focus on stuff that
of course.
Right.
I love it. Avaracios, you're brilliant. I love it. I have a smile ear to ear. Yeah, I suppose so. That's the phrase.
It does strike you, Onweir, as being not the Avaracios that you started this journey with.
Exactly. I'm going to say, are you feeling well, my friend?
I feel so good. This is great, man. I love it so much.
Do I have any sense? Do I have any sense, again, now that I'm aware of that, John, do I have any sense of like an arcane vibe? I don't know. I don't know if I would be able to sparing casting some sort of detection magic.
On Avaracios?
Yeah.
No. It's just a change in behavior, like a relatively sudden change in behavior. Yeah.
All right. I see my presence has been a good influence on you, my friend.
There you go.
Unfortunately, it doesn't always work to our favor, and it seems in this current moment we are sufficiently spatchcocked, one might say.
Good word.
With that in mind, I know that they are very concerned about the reputation with Wicktrimmer. I don't need to redress exactly what I said before, but essentially, I don't want to stir this up more than it needs to be already. We already have a mercenary company. We're at least benefited by the fact that those mercenaries can distract themselves with the other goblins, if need be. But the better part of Valor may be finding a scapegoat for this little prank of yours.
I have an idea about that, but
I want to hear yours too.
All right.
So what I was thinking was if we can, because we were down there talking to, this new group of, goblins.
Yeah.
If we can convince Kronos and Estelle that it was these guys who did that, who snuck up.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Because they want trouble between them and Wicktrimmer so that they're undisturbed down there.
Yeah. And then we add to that the fact that, look, they're all over the place. Keep the mercenaries. Don't go see Wicktrimmer. Your real enemy here is the Arden Vul goblins. Yada, yada.
In fact, I mean, we were down there. We heard them talking about, the trick that they were going to play on the old broken head.
Yeah. They told me in great detail because they thought they could trust me. They wanted information.
Well, and specifically, they knew that the broken head was in cahoots with the halflings. So there's a real vendetta.
A vendetta. Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is all. Plus, they meant to write Arden Vul on that, but they spelled it wrong, and they ran out of paint because they're idiots.
So, other than your word, right? Other than you just telling them that this is actually what's going on, is there anything else that you would be able to offer them?
Well, I wonder, there is a goblin there, right? That they captured and killed.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know if they searched that goblin thoroughly, but
they're burning it right now.
They were taking it out to burn, weren't they?
Yeah. What if we planted some red paint on a goblin patrol and
just what I was thinking.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we stick some red paint on. We bring a body in, something like that.
We got to do it without alerting the rest of the goblins and getting ourselves in even more shit. But that's great. I love it. I love how this is quickly turning into an absolute quagmire. It's perfect.
Yeah.
This was the intention.
You reap what you sow.
Make Mike crazy.
I know.
Here's a thought, though. What if we say something like, Kronos, look, don't send Estelle down. If Wicktrimmer is really gunning for you, that's a dangerous thing to do. We're going to Gostwick anyway. Let's go put our ears to the ground and see if he's all riled up about anything, or if this is some kind of misunderstanding or whatever. And then
just low key listen. Yeah,
just listen. We come back. We say, the word in the city that Wicktrimmer is picking up is that it's the goblins from Arden Vul trying to stir something up. It's not him at all. I don't know if Kronos will believe it, but
he won't believe that. I don't think.
I'm reluctant to take Estelle into the city. And if I do want to go there,
I don't think we should go down at all.
We need to think of a reason to not bring her in tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Well, we just don't tell them that we're going.
We already promised. We already promised we'd take her.
We promised that we would take her soon.
Yeah,
we didn't promise that we would take her tomorrow.
That is true. I was trying to say, you don't. It's not necessarily to she'd be willing to wait for safety's sake until you guys are ready to go, but she does have a limit. She's not going to wait more than a week, probably.
We just say, look, Estelle, let's go check out the city. We'll add, we'll listen. We'll come back. We'll tell you what we find out. Don't rush into anything. That's simple enough.
You guys are strong up here. You should be fine.
But we warn him about all the goblins from the cellars, the dungeons, and we play it off that way. And then I like the red paint plant thing. We haul some poor bastard in with red paint all over his fingers and his throat slit. Oh, look at this guy we caught. Oh, this is right. Total silence. What happened? I thought we had a plan. You guys are staring at me.
I'm nodding.
Well, my thing
goblin on goblin violence. Because don't worry, it's okay.
No, I'm just full transparency. I'm debating if the more convoluted our meddling, the more likely we are to fuck this up. So I don't know if I really want to go to Gostwick and scope it out and compound lies.
Oh no, we don't do anything.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, I don't know if I want to compound the situation when we could literally just go kill a goblin, bring the body in with red paint on it, and be like, look, here's the thing, and here's the proof, right?
They're not going to buy that, though. It's too pat. We just went, we're going to go out and see. Oh, yeah, here's your victim. I mean, your criminal.
Well,
it is a little convenient.
I agree, but I don't know that, implicating ourselves further by going down. At what point do they think that we're in cahoots with Wicktrimmer? The more we are doing this back and forth to Gostwick and saying that they're on their side, it's really damning to us versus being Avaracios did it. We're really sorry. We'll spank him on the bottom, right? Like, not that we're going to do that. I don't think we should do it. But you know what I mean? Like, that has less death involved than all of the other things that we're talking about
but potentially mine.
Yeah, no. I mean, like, I know. Oh, God.
No, I'm kind of liking because the more that these factions are involved with each other, the more freedom we have to do stuff, right?
Has that been our experience so far? Is that what's just happened? Because we have a lot less freedom because of all the factions involving themselves with each other in the last 4 sessions.
Okay, yeah, this is theoretical.
One path you could take is just to say, like, fuck it and let it play out however it plays out. I mean, you guys, there's nothing stopping you guys from just literally just going right back to the dungeon.
It's true. My only concern is that if things really hit the fan here on the inn, we could find ourselves without any sort of safety zone.
Sure.
All the
Sounds
more
like
reason
we just got
like
XP that, we just locked in XP, right, by arriving here and being in a safe place.
You did.
And that is not to be sneezed at. It's a long trip to Gosterwick. And as far as we can tell, we haven't really hammered out what would it take to make another safe place up here, but I suspect it would take a lot of construction and guards and money, and we're not quite that rich yet, although I do have some questions, John. I don't really want to do anything that jeopardizes or allows to just pass the inn. I mean, Kronos is kind of a scumbag, I suspect, but he's our scumbag. And
well, he's a scumbag we know.
Yeah, that's a better way of putting it. He's a scumbag we know, and if Wicktrimmer just says I'm taking over the inn, then I feel like totally hosed by that.
But again, Wicktrimmer doesn't know anything about this, as far as we know.
But he will catch word at some point. Someone will drop something.
Yeah, he's going to find out there's an army of mercenaries up here hunting him. This is the problem. We need to squelch this as fast as possible. Okay, another pitch. You don't have to agree. Another pitch. I say, hey, look, when we thought you were in cahoots with the halflings, we did this. Now we know better. We were trying to spook you. We're sorry. Like, we fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, literally. I know that's not as exciting, but like, our bad. This has gotten really out of hand. We thought you were in cahoots with the halflings grifting us, and this was our way of getting a little of a joke on you. And now we do not want you to start a war with Wicktrimmer. What can we do to help to defuse this? I mean, that's a conversation we can have, guys.
So
true, it is, but
escalating. I'm just saying.
I'm curious about this use of the word "we."
I'll take the fall.
No. Like here's another thing that was going around in my head. Wicktrimmer wants our stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So if he does somehow get focused on an interaction with this inn, he's focused on an interaction with this inn and not with us. I think it's another thing that's to our benefit, right? Like if these two guys are focused at each other, right?
Unless it gets raided and we have to go to Gostrick every time we want to get XP.
Yeah.
Like if we come back tomorrow night and the inn's on fire and we have an army of goblins that have taken over that aren't even involved with the Wicktrimmer, but then, I mean, I don't know. Like,
all right, I got it. We don't do anything tonight or even in the morning. We go to Gosterwick as planned. It's 11:17. Let's go to Gosterwick. Let's do a couple things, come back, and then worry about it. And maybe we'll learn something in Gosterwick, oh yeah, Wicktrimmer is like totally bored and has nothing to do and there's nothing going on. I'm like, oh great, this is all a misunderstanding, Chrono, so don't worry about it. I don't know. But let's just go to Gosterwick. Let's tell Estelle to wait. We go to Gosterwick. We had stuff we wanted to do.
What do we want to do in Gosterwick? I thought we were jumping right back into the dungeon.
I mean, we can if we want to. The things that we could do if we do go to Gosterwick are pick up Set's Bane, right?
Yeah.
Right, to arm Samantha with. Right, which is really good for where we think we want to go, and maybe hire a guy or two, right? Like the inn is deserted, so we're not going to be able to hire anybody. So, hire a torchbearer or two or something down there would be good.
Yeah. Maybe I don't want to hire goblins this time, though. Yeah. And we've got some gems that we picked up. We could, cash in, put them away, that kind of thing. So we're not carrying them, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah. And then, we just kind of go on his plan, let this play out a little bit. It's not like they're going to leave tomorrow. They've got this has only been a few hours.
Kronos might. He sounded pretty panicked.
That's the thing.
Which
I don't
make
think
me worry a little bit about how powerful Wicktrimmer really is. It's just,
well, yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
So he has said that, or was it who said that Wicktrimmer was the real power? And
one of the guards did.
One of the Winedark guys, yeah. So they said that everything that you have seen begs to differ. You don't really know Wicktrimmer that well, but from what you've seen, you've dealt with Eusebia Phocas, who is the Thesmothy, and she does not seem to be someone who is like a puppet of some sort. You know what I mean? Like she very much seemed like she was in control and actually running things in that town. Just be aware that that's one person's opinion.
I mean, and that's a goblin, and goblins are pretty cool.
Goblins are excellent. I mean, and it's not like common knowledge, right? Like everybody in Gosterwick doesn't know that Wicktrimmer's running everything, right? Like that's not just like an unspoken truth that people know.
Rumors.
There's a lot of rumors. The thing is like Wicktrimmer is rarely seen in Gosterwick, but the public face that everyone knows of Wicktrimmer, at least the name, is that he's the head of the rarities factor, and the rarities factor is just the newest factor, so it's just sort of like an unknown quantity, but that it just has this reputation of accepting goods that most other factors wouldn't, and maintaining them securely. But other than that, it operates just like another factor. Now, of course, there's rumors on the streets and blah, depending on who you talk to and blah, blah, blah. And it's obvious that the Winedark Cohort, who runs a little bit with a seamier crowd, has picked up on some of these rumors, But they are not. Yeah. But they are not a mercenary company that is based, like their base of operations is not Gosterwick. They just happen to be there's a small chapter of them that is in Gosterwick, but they are a empire spanning company. I mean, like they've got chapters all over the place in all the major cities. So
we could screw things up for ourselves globally.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All I'm saying is one soldier in the Winedark Cohort's opinion about who really runs Gosterwick. You don't need to put too much weight into that. You might. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I say we wait. We keep this information. We give it a couple of days. Like I said, it's only been adjust as we need to, but let's see what it does. Let's see what plays out.
Okay, so you go to bed. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
When you wake up in the morning,
right before we go to bed, I check with Jost, make sure he's okay.
Yeah, tuck him in.
Give the tuck in, make sure it's nice and tight under the shoulders.
My henchman, get off my henchman.
He's actually adorable.
You can't do a tuck in.
He's actually kneeling at the side of his bed, saying a little prayer before he goes to sleep. And it's just, yeah. Then he yawns, and it's cute. And I'm so tired.
If Njal looks jealous, I go over and I tuck him in.
I'll be all right. Don't you worry.
Your little paws off of me, you weirdo.
I'm keeping an eye on your big old bruiser over there. He's like, I'm so tired. I just love this soft bed. It's so nice.
Civilization is great. We invented beds.
Who invented these things? All right, so you go to sleep. When you wake up in the morning, you are rested. So you gain a hit point back if you have lost one.
Right.
I have in fact lost one. Yeah.
That includes your NPCs. I believe Njal is hurt.
Njal does as well.
And Avaracios, you can do your morning ablutions and pray for some spells from your delightful deity.
I am. And today I'm going to double up on Cure Light Wounds. I'm going to have that twice. And you know what? Just for fun, I'm going to do Silence twice today. Although that whole person was pretty clutch the other time. I'll do Silence and Hold Person. 2 Cure Light Wounds and Silence and Hold Person.
Got it. Cool. Also, on the morn on where you the pain from your horrific burns from attempting to open that portal on the side of the chasm have slowly subsided to the point where you think you could probably actually don a suit of armor should you wish to, which you've been known to do, as minus a spell book. There's no reason not to.
Yeah, there's not a lot I can do with a rusty dagger, and
true. But you are no longer suffering from the burned condition.
Amazing.
I don't know if you still have that. I don't think you have the suit of banded mail on you anymore, but
I stored all of that stuff, so I don't.
Is it in Gosterwick or is it here?
I think it was in our
hidey hole
stash.
Okay.
I put the pennies, the mail, the Nefertiti hat, Cassandra's dagger and spellbook, and the silk purse with ashes in storage.
Perfect, because actually, so here's the thing I just want to throw out there, guys. I was wondering, like, we do have a fair bit of cash, and I don't know what rules John's using for construction and how much it would cost, but I'm wondering if it might not be kind of a cool thing to hire some construction guys to come up and fix up that tower. That's our tower, you know? Like I said, I don't know what rules he's using, but the tower is like partly there, so it would be cheaper to repair the existing tower than building a fresh one. So
which tower?
The one right by the river where we have our stuff stashed.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I thought maybe in the morning, get a tape measure out of the handy bag and go over and make a few measurements. And if we go to Gosterwick, just inquire at a master mason and say, how much would you charge to fix up this 30-foot high, 20-foot diameter tower, blah, blah, blah.
Under fire by goblins and
monsters. Yeah, there may be a danger component. Yeah.
Definitely some hazard pay.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it'll
15,000 gold pieces, then we say, oh, thanks anyway, I'll call you later. And if he says, yeah, I'll do it for 2,000 or whatever.
I mean, again, I think the success of this is predicated upon the volatility of the plateau again. So I mean, like, not to beat a dead horse, but I think like calling attention to a hidden stash by making a reinforced tower as two militaries and possibly Wicktrimmer are like focusing in on this specific region might be a mistake.
Oh, another thought. Remember, because it's been a long time, we have our own secret entrance that goes way down. And we might want to spend something to reinforce that may be a safe zone for us.
For sure.
I mean, yes, I had the same thought. I did ask John at one point, and I don't remember his exact answer, but it sounded as if that would be harder to make into a genuine safe place because of its location and the fact that we're talking about defending it from multiple, up and down sort of thing. But
my point is, sorry, go ahead.
No.
My point is simply that I don't think we can defer. I don't think we can take a passive stance on an escalating situation and an active stance on like homesteading, right? I don't think we can like passively have things escalate with the Wicktrimmer dynamic. And like actively build under the sort of like premise that this is like a safe space. You know what I mean? If the inn gets burnt down in 2 days, in other words, like, and there's an army of goblins there, then,
Well, I hear you. Well, I can at least inquire about the price if we're going to Gosterwick anyway.
Yeah, and get a quote. Nothing's wrong with getting a quote.
Right. Like, for example, while other people not carrying the pin and the invisible cloak and the bag of Larel go into Wicktrimmer's, somebody else goes over to the Masons and asks questions,
Right.
Sure.
Okay, so you definitely go to Gosterwick, though, right?
I think we should.
Okay, so
I guess so. I don't know.
We've got a wand that needs identifying, a spear that needs identifying, and a periapt that need identifying, at the very least. And we have gems and things to deposit, and a spear? No, it's a halberd. The set thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pick up. So,
someone roll me 2d6, please. Who's rolling?
I got it.
You got it.
Oh, okay. I have rolled a 9.
A 9. Okay, so it's a blustery, drizzly day, actually. So it's not too great of a day when you guys head out. So you are going to go the typical route, right? Like the safest route through the city, past the pyramid. So as you move, so the the guards are changing, all that sort of stuff, right? The Winedark Cohort, the 10 of them are in effect. The guards up in the North Gate report that they have heard things throughout the night. However, they have not been able to see anything. When you enter the city proper, you yourself do not see any goblins at all. You do see, looking out on to the west, so to your right from the boulevard, you can see evidence of their passing, right? Like you can see like trampled grasses. I don't know what else you would see, but you could see that there was definitely something moving around there last night, which obviously, right?
I see scat and things like that, right?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, who knows?
No, John, do the underground dwelling goblins, do they have kind of an aversion to sunlight, or would they be fine coming up anytime if they wanted to?
It's not like a mechanical aversion, but yes, if they can help it, they'd rather be in the dark.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. But they themselves, even when you met them down below, they actually were carrying torches and things like that. I would think that most like sentient creatures, even if they have infravision, would prefer to be in light. What I mean? Even if it's not necessarily sunlight,
Right.
I think it's only like really like animalistic sort of creatures with infravision that don't have any choice. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, on the pyramid, which you at the nighttime you saw like numerous goblins that were hanging out in the steps there. There's nothing there, nothing at all. Right? It just seems normal. Move past the oak, you go down the boulevard, past the obelisk of the sun, which you now may or may not have a certain thing that may fit in the obelisk of the sun.
Oh yeah, I was going to ask the ankhs that we have. So we have two ankhs, right? One of them is in the vault. Is that correct? And
no, I think we have them all on us.
I have the silver ankh.
But there's that new one, the new fancy one.
That's the one I have.
The new one that we just got from the laboratory,
right?
And we got the earlier one from the sarcophagus, right?
As far as I know, everyone that got an ankh has it on them because we haven't wanted to leave them behind because we might need them.
Yeah.
So Yost has one. We found two earlier. One in the sarcophagus and one somewhere else. I can't remember now.
Yost has the first one.
Remember how that's how he found us. He had an ankh.
Oh, no, that was a holy symbol. Are you?
Yeah.
This is different.
Are they
this
not
is
the same thing?
No,
I have a foot long silver ankh, bejeweled ankh.
Yeah, the symbol of Thoth is different.
Yeah, and remember there was a mummy in one of the sarcophagi that had one similar.
I'm confused then, John. I thought all this time we were talking about ankhs.
No.
So how many? Okay, so Yost has a symbol of Thoth, which is not an ankh.
That's correct. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like an ibis.
It's an ibis.
Yeah, Avaracios has a holy symbol that's in the shape of a baboon.
No big deal. I'm just pointing it out that you're going past the obelisk. If you want to do something with that ankh, you let me know.
You want to try to climb up?
So in that case, we only have one ankh. The other things we found were holy symbols of Thoth. I just assumed they were all ankhs, though, is the thing.
Oh, we have to look because I remember we got that. I don't think we sold it. There was the mummy was holding it in one of the sarcophagi, and it was the equivalent to the one that David has now that he found in the laboratory.
I thought it was not the equivalent. I thought it was the equivalent of because I remember hold on, I'll find the notes because I remember we opened up the chest. And there was something in that Plumthorn.
Oh no, this was not with the halflings.
Right,
this was well before. This was in the room with the spikes that shot up.
Yep.
Yeah, and it was an ankh.
Yeah.
So we have two ankhs. I thought. I'm sorry, guys.
We'll do something later.
Let's do it later.
This is like a Norm Macdonald bit right now. We're going to be here for 30 minutes talking about ankhs.
Look, no, I mean, just there's a treasure tracker. It says holy symbol of Thoth. If one of them is an ankh, somebody should have pointed that out to me. You've all seen the document. I know David's even on
not.
I have on my list a silver ankh with let's see.
From the laboratory.
Chased red glass from the laboratory.
From the laboratory.
Yeah.
And the question is, Matt says we found an ankh elsewhere.
Yeah, we'll backtrack and we'll figure it out.
We can figure it out off camera, I think.
Yeah.
Fine. Well, it's important now that we agree that we have one. If we're going to try and do something with the obelisk.
Yeah. Well, let's not do something with the obelisk now.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, and we'll just do it later.
Okay. So, you move past the obelisk and to the west along the wall till you get to the hand itself, and you make your way down, all the way down. When you emerge off of the Arden Vader and you're completely soaked by the waters of the long fall, you are greeted by a full convoy, which is 9 members of the Knights of the Azure Shield with lances lowered in a semicircle around you as you have come down. They look like menacingly at you, right? Like, because you're, according to them, that should only be operated with one of them escorting, right? I assume you show your badge.
Oh yeah, our pins.
Arden Vader badges.
The moment they see that, and then the chased emerald that is also in that badge as well, they immediately raise their lances, and they look at you strangely, like you don't really recognize them any of them, but they don't really understand like why you have the badge, but they don't question it, and they immediately like put up their lances and allow you to pass.
Cool.
As you move down the Imperial Road, you pass by that construction that was going on at the old tower where you met that ghost or specter, right? That it's been like 4 days or so since the last time you saw it. So but the work is continuing apace. There's a lot of masons and all that kind of stuff. It also jogs your memory when you see all of the work that's going on in the masons. You remember what they told you. I believe what Eusebia told you is that almost all of the available skilled labor in this arena is being used for this building right here.
Oh
wow. Oh yeah. So there goes our tower. Just one quick. We didn't really say this one way or the other. Did we leave our retainers up at the Broken Head, or are they coming with us? I'm assuming we kind of left them at the Broken Head, maybe to help.
I was assuming you took them, but it's up to you.
I would rather take them because of what happened to Dalton's darlings as soon as we turned our back on them.
Oh yeah. Let's keep them with us. I'm down with that. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just getting the old map up here. People haven't seen this one for a while. So you move on down the Imperial Road, and I'm going to make a real quick check here. One moment, please. Okay, an uneventful trip in this blustery, drizzly day as you move down the road, come up from to Gosterwick from the south through the Imperial Gate, you move into town, and the town is bustling as normal. Seems to be still like a large influx of adventuring types and folk of all manner of sorts as you kind of move up the Imperial Way. And where would you like to go? Oh, by the way, that took it's a 6-hour journey, so it is now 2:00 in the afternoon.
I would like to get some things identified. We have at least 3 or 4 things that are worth identifying. So, we got 2 wands, actually, a periapt and the Guardian's Iron Spear.
Right.
So that would be 800 gold, right? To identify?
What was the price that I had for identify?
I think it was 200.
200, yeah.
It
was either 100 or 200. It was an even...
Yeah. Okay.
But they love us now. I mean, I think maybe we might not want to bring in the Larel's artifacts into, because that's where we were first ratted out to Wicktrimmer.
Those guys did rat us out, yeah. Well, I mean, I could, keep the cloak and the pin and the bag probably could just be hidden, right? Roll them up in a backpack or something.
We could. Do we want to? We could do this. We could give the pin and the bag to Onweir, who could be invisible while we're in there.
Oh God.
Yes, I love this idea.
What could go wrong? We trust him. He's a good guy.
We can whip through this stuff pretty quick. So wait,
I think we're overthinking it, guys. I don't know. I think to meta talk a little bit, and feel free to disagree. I think if we approach every visit to the bank with the caution that we're going to get murdered for having Larel's gear, it's going to really devolve into a lot of hemming and hawing every time. So we can either just like go with it and just accept the worst, or we can say to the bank.
Yeah, we go in cautiously with these things out of view. Right.
You can also take your stuff out of the rarities factor and try to deposit in one of the other factors.
Yes.
It's just that you won't get the deal that Eusebia was able to broker for you.
I just don't know. I don't know if it's worth like getting extremely paranoid about Wicktrimmer.
No. Right now we're just identifying stuff. So let's do that first.
Yeah, so you're going to do that at the Arcane Practitioner's Guild. So it's going to be 200 each. So what are you identifying? The 2 wands?
2 wands, the black iron spear, and the periapt with the orange thing in it.
Okay, cool. So the wands. Okay, the first one is a
Yewood.
Yes, the Yewood wand is a wand of Detect Evil.
Cool.
That'll be handy.
It works as the cleric spell of the first level. And they can actually determine the number of charges for you.
Ooh.
Nice.
12 charges.
Ooh. Nice.
Okay.
We tested by pointing it at Anwir. It melts.
And the unicorn horn.
Yes, the unicorn horn one. This one, when they hand it back to you, they actually have it wrapped up in a cloth, and they give it to you, and they're like, you may want to leave this with us. They tell you it is cursed. They tell you. But thankfully, it is not something that binds itself to the bearer. But you should be aware that this is a wand that appears that it would be able to detect enemies or danger, but at the same time, it also warns all nearby enemies that you are present. So you can detect them, but they can detect you at the same time.
Sounds like a great gift to another person.
There is the possibility that you could put that to use in some way.
Yeah, I was just thinking,
so it's actually technically called
stuff. Yeah.
It's called a cursed wand of alarms. So it works as a wand of enemy detection, but it's infused with a powerful curse that whenever you expend a charge, the user will be surprised by any enemy encountered in the next 1 to 3 turns. In addition, friends of the wielder within 20 feet, so basically the party members, suffer a penalty of 1 pip to surprise rolls for the same duration. So basically, like, your surprise is jacked while you're after you use the wand.
What? How many charges does it have?
I'll check for you there. That one has 6 charges left.
And so the user will be surprised by any enemy encountered in the next how many turns?
1 to 3 turns.
1 to 3. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Then the Black Iron Spear is literally called the Black Iron Spear. Black iron, single barb, 5 foot long, heavy as fuck. As I said, you know that only strength of 17 or higher can wield it effectively. It is a +1 spear. It is +2 versus humanoids. The wizards of the school of the tower are very pleased to see this, as they have heard of these things that oftentimes our Kantian constructs of old were known to wield them, but they have never seen one in the wild before.
We bring all the best shit to the sages.
They have to be like really two guys have to carry that one back out to you. Yours is like, yes, I knew it was good.
We also have a. You'll know better than I did because they were mostly gotten while I was away. We have several scrolls that I've thrown in my scroll case.
Let's get the periapt here first, and then we have some scrolls.
Okay, the periapt is a periapt. It's a classic. It's a classic D&D one. The periapt of proof against poison. So,
right on.
What you do? It's actually pretty cool. So when you find it, you got to roll a D10. Determine the magnitude. Does it tell me what the magnitude is here? Let's see. Nope, it does not. So I have to roll. Let's find that out, shall we?
You rolling?
3. So it so it's going to give you a +1 bonus on saves against poison. And you have a flat 10% of just resisting the poison completely. Yeah. So basically, like if you encounter poison, based upon what I rolled, you would roll 10% first, and if you fail that, then you get to make a normal saving throw. But that saving throw gets a +1. Got it?
Okay.
Got it.
Okay.
Cool.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's 800 gold to identify all that.
Yes.
All right, we'll take that out of our party funds. To Avaracios. Identify 4 items. Let's see. Okay.
Anything else you want to identify?
Well, then, yeah. So David's correct that that pile we found also. Of course, we have the 5 Arcanum things, but we know what that is. And there were 2 arcane scrolls. Are they going to charge us 200 to identify those as well?
Let's see.
We also had the scrolls from the Spiderwebs, the Mummy, and the Hall of Heroes.
We haven't identified any scrolls, huh?
We have never identified any scrolls because we were assuming eventually that David would get his read magic back and.
Well, I will, but we have to focus.
True.
That's one reason I don't want to get waylaid by the Wicktrimmer conspiracy is I have not had a spell book in like 10 weeks.
So I'm going to say for read magic, based upon what Estelle's prices would be for something similar, that read magic I'm going to call a 75 gold expense.
Oh, that's nothing.
It's not nothing because we got a lot of scrolls.
Well, I mean, we can do a few, and then then our magic user has something to use, right?
But doesn't he need, in order to use them as scrolls, he still needs read magic, right?
Yes.
True.
Yeah.
So I can't even use them. So never mind. That's why I forgot I can't use them.
Yeah,
all right,
I say we just
the health that. Yeah.
Yes, that's true. You would have to be able to decipher them. They could tell you what they are, but yeah.
Yeah, so that's not worth it. We do have a green vial and an ether vial that I have on my person.
Oh yes, 2 potions that you never. And there's 2 potions that Yost is carrying as well that we don't exactly have.
Yeah, but we can taste those and get an idea without spending 1,000 more gold.
We did, and the 2 that Yost has were very weird. I did not understand them at all. Trying to find where we did that, but. I'm pretty happy at this point, honestly, having identified what we did.
That's fine. I'm just going to probably not carry around these vials if we don't know what they are, because it takes up inventory space. So
where did you find them?
I don't know. Ted told me about them.
Yeah, hold on. So the ones that Onweir has, let's see here. Seemingly empty vial and the green gunk potion. Oh, I don't know if I recorded it. They might have been found with
This is from Ross Kelly.
Well, the green gunk is the stuff that
The poison.
that the halflings were making.
Okay.
Oh, the mortality.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we did test the seemingly empty one. It seems vaguely familiar now.
Was it part of Plumthorn's stash?
Yeah, I think so.
That might have been the ones that Yost has.
Going forward, you guys should always note where the circumstances where you found an item, because since I'm not identifying them for you, I need to be able to look you know what I mean?
Just look them back like this. Sure.
Yeah.
I have some of them recorded, but I didn't get everything on my chart.
These 2 are listed as from Ross Kelly on the Excel sheet.
Ross Kelly. Okay. Let's see. Oh yeah. Okay. I know what it is now.
How much do we have to pay you, John?
Yeah, exactly. What do you give me? Yeah, so I know what it is. What do you want to do?
Anyway, to you, man.
Well, how are our group funds looking after this big expenditure there, Ted?
So currently we have total on deposit about 5,600 gold. And we've got a big old leg up top that we could sell.
Mm-hmm.
So is it another 200 to identify potions?
Yeah.
Each? Okay.
Why don't we just do it? We're here. Let's just do it. Let's do it.
Let's do the potion. We don't need to deal with the mortality one because we already know what it is. So what's the Russ Kelly one, John?
The potion of invisibility.
Cool.
Okay, so the seemingly empty vial.
Yeah.
Potion of invisibility, and then Yost has 2. But he's carrying the red motes and the viscous orange, and I feel like we did taste those. I'm just trying to find my notes on that. Because I think we did that before we went back underground.
Okay, well, let's not take up screen time with it.
You say sees faces change shape and euphoric ? Lightheaded ?
Yes.
So the red mote one gave some euphoria and made him lightheaded, and the viscous orange one had faces changing shape.
I just need to know where they were. Oh,
Blonde Veg.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I got them.
I think they were from that area. There.
They were from Blonde Veg.
From Blonde Veg.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So what are they?
We'll do it.
You're gonna spend it? Okay. So one is a potion of polymorph self.
Love it.
The other is one that you've never heard of before. This is a potion of singing birds. The Arcane Practitioners Club is more than happy to give you the lowdown on this one. This was an invention of a famous alchemist known as Plotina the Alchemist. It's a golden liquid with bright red motes. That's what I told you, right?
Yeah.
That line. Okay.
Yeah.
It can either be consumed or you can throw it as a grenade. Either way, the victim must spend 1 to 3 rounds stumbling about in a daze, watching illusionary singing birds go around there. But it's pretty cool because you can actually lob it at someone. If it breaks on them, they'll have the same effect.
Gotcha.
All right.
Cool.
Okay.
What about the polymorph self?
Polymorph self, man.
Gotcha.
Yep. That's the good shit.
600 off of that. So that means
I'm going to rename them on the sheet.
Okay.
Okay.
So
do you have them under? Do you have under Yoast, or are you on the shared notes?
I'm on Treasure Tracker, just renaming your to the correct name.
Okay. I see it, and I'll note where we got them there.
So one thing you notice as you guys are moving about town and doing your errands is that there is a notable increased presence of private guards that are in front of a number of wealthy houses and residences and certain business establishments. An increased presence of security. In addition, you're not really sure if it has something to do with it. Who knows? But there appears to be a lot of everyday commoners and folk in the streets and stuff like that. Seem to be a lot more jubilant and festive than normal. And you hear on the street, it seems like spontaneous, sometimes parades and get-togethers seem to be happening on street corners where people are having a good time and throwing one back. And you hear a number of juicy bits of gossip about something that's been going around that's been called the mice lucre. Has been called around. You hear notes. You hear people gossiping about streets paved with gold. The Gosterwick streets are paved with gold these days. That Lucreon has blessed us with his presence. And the one
Lucreon.
Lucreon,
oh my God.
Yeah, I know. That imposter.
That bastard.
Lucreon is the god of wealth and commerce, of course, and one that particularly perks your ears a lot is you hear a number of people claiming that Larel walks among us.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
That's good.
But the commoners seem to be in a much better mood than normal, and the upper classes seem to be in a much worse mood than normal for some strange reason.
I wonder how that could have happened.
Weird.
It has led to... Sorry, go ahead.
You leave town for a couple of days and the whole place turns topsy-turvy. I don't know what with that.
There seemed to be like a lot of like impromptu mask wearing in the shape of mice. Like people are like wearing like mice hats and things like that, the trade-off is that there is a much more like militant presence and military presence in town, right? Like everything valuable seems to be guarded, right? Like there's a lot more like weapons being shown and brandished and things like that, right? A lot more pushing and shoving of like the lower folk if they get a little bit too close to certain stalls or something like that, right? You're seeing that, but the common folks just don't seem to give a shit, really. They're like, whatever, So
Okay.
Just letting you know that's happening.
Oh, okay. All right. I've got to do some thinking on how to get my guy some credit.
Anyways, yeah. So what else do you want to do?
I would like to, while we're in town, hire a torchbearer / butt wiper, because the hook is just not cutting it.
Got it.
Oh, wait. Okay, I'm gonna back off. It does cut it a little bit, but
okay.
Yeah. So just a torchbearer, because I don't like having to set the lantern down and pick it back up, and sometimes you get the niche and you can't quite reach it.
Sure. Totally understandable. So you can easily find someone at the Muddy Puddle where you found someone before. I think that's where you picked up Jan back in the day. So you just want like a normal 0-level person, right?
Yeah, I literally just want a torchbearer because we've got a lot of NPCs that we're sharing shares with, and this I just want to like hire at a flat rate to stay out of trouble, hold the torch back in the back.
Sure. So
and be ready to run.
What do you want to pay this person?
I want to be generous. What's it like? What, like 10 gold a day in the junk? Is that cheap? That's
high. I think that's high for a torchbearer, but it'll probably get you a +1 hiring modifier. I guess.
Yeah, you know what? I want the best. I want the good guy. I'm not cheap. I just paid 12 gold to the guards on the tower so they can buy drinks. Yeah, I'll do it. 10 gold a day to accompany us down into the dungeon, stay out of trouble, hold the light, stay in the back.
Are you offering a share of loot?
For a torchbearer? They don't usually get the share of loot, do they? That's more of a wage. No shares for no fighting.
Okay, but 10 gold a day, right?
10 gold a day.
Okay, so are you doing this publicly? Like you walk into the place and you're like, I'm looking to hire a torchbearer. I'll pay whatever man steps up 10 gold, that sort of thing. Or are you like, do you find someone who's likely and they're like, I'll pay you 10 gold, that sort of thing.
No, I don't want any. I don't want any scrubs. I'm not going to make a public announcement. I'm going to look at somebody who has the eye of the tiger, that drive. It's going to be the best damn torchbearer you've ever seen.
Gotcha. Okay.
When those monsters attack, that torch isn't going to flicker a bit.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm going to roll a D% to see if it's male or female. So we'll call it 50 or under is male. Let me get to dice. There we go. 59 is female.
Okay.
And then I'm going to roll a little bit of action here with the name generator. And we got... Okay. All right, this is Elizabeth. Is her name?
Elizabeth, okay.
Yes. We'll say that she is a put-upon serving wench at the Muddy Puddle. She's headed up to here with serving ungrateful adventurers. And she is jonesing to do any other work. She doesn't care what it is. And whenever you are like, I'll give you 10 gold a day, she is absolutely like, she's right up. So what is your normal loyalty score based upon your charisma?
Let me pull up my sheet and I will tell you. I believe it's a +1. Yeah, my charisma is 14, so that should be a +1.
That's +1 to your reaction rolls, but what is your actual loyalty score?
My actual... I don't know where my loyalty score is.
I can find it here. I'm on it. What's your charisma's 14?
Yeah.
Okay, so your loyalty is 8. So I'm actually going to give you +2 to that because your wage is like way exorbitant, like way over what you would normally pay someone like this. So and she is more than happy to stay close by your side. So she's going to have a loyalty of 10. Which means basically if she rolls 2d6 and hits 10 or below on that 2d6, then she stays with you, basically. So it's really good. So you now have 2. You have a maximum of 5 retainers that you can have based upon your charisma. You now have 2. Okay?
Okay.
So you have Njal and Elizabeth. And
Lysion smiles on the servers of drinks. So
cool. We'll say she has like dirty blonde hair that she basically keeps loosely tied back with like a single band. But she shows every sign of being sort of that young but put upon serving girl, right? Like where her hair is like wispy and out of place. And she's basically only wearing like a frock right now. But you're required, of course, to outfit her whatever she needs. But she looks like she could definitely, she has strong arms from holding trays above her heads and carrying tons of mugs. Okay.
Some armor and a backpack, all the oil she can carry.
Exactly. Yeah. So Elizabeth, welcome to the party. Anyone else want to hire a retainer?
I was thinking about it originally, but now I'm a little concerned about hiring more goblins, to be perfectly blunt.
I have some goblins waiting in the wings for you, Mort, should you wish.
Yeah, I'd like to hire a bearer to keep spare shield and helmet and stuff on.
Would you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, give me 1 second.
While you're thinking, John, I know that Mike, peace be on him wherever he is, was also probably interested in hiring somebody. So maybe we can say when he comes back that when he was down here that he had a chance.
Yeah, we'll give him a retrofit. Yeah, because he definitely did want to get someone. So we won't take that away from him. Since he was known to want that. Okay, so I've got 2 here. Mort. Let's see.
Yep. I'm looking for somebody with a strong back and no ties to Wicktrimmer.
So you don't know. They claim that they don't have any ties to Wicktrimmer. You have one goblin. His name's Guppy. This goblin, Guppy, he's gray skin. He has no neck at all, right? But he's completely bug-eyed, right? So it's basically just like big 2 bulbous eyes sitting on top of like a round body and skinny little arms and legs, right? With big feet, right? He is a 2nd level goblin. He has a 13 strength, 15. His standout traits is he has a 13 strength and a 15 intelligence. His other things are relatively average.
Okay.
He's wielding studded leather and he has 2 daggers.
Okay.
That's Guppy. Guppy rocks.
Guppy.
The other
John,
one, yes.
If we make a noise to his side, does his whole body turn?
Yeah, exactly. The other one is Codswallop. Codswallop is another second level goblin.
Oh, yeah.
He has orange skin. He has Yoda-like ears, straight out to the side, and he's he's hunchbacked. He has a 14 strength. The rest of his stuff is relatively average. He is wielding, however, he's much more of a warrior type. He's wearing studded leather, but he has a short bow and a warhammer.
Man. Couldn't get any of the pretty goblins. You had to get the
they're both pretty. They're both pretty awesome. If you ask me.
The pretty goblins.
So Codswallop has a charisma of 8, and Guppy has also a charisma of 8. So you're kind of shit out of luck with that.
Oh my lord!
What? They're great. Well, these guys are awesome.
I think I should have them bum fight for the right to join us.
Which one would you like? And then we kind of have to end it there.
I think the stronger one, but he's got a hunchback.
Yeah, man.
Are you gonna be able to fit a backpack on that thing?
It's just aesthetic.
What hump?
I can't believe you're disappointed. Yeah. You're disappointed with my retainers.
They sound pretty awesome.
These guys are awesome.
Okay, Codswallop it shall be.
I love these guys the moment I generated them.
These eyeballs are weirding me out, man. We're gonna hire Codswallop.
Codswallop, okay. How much are you willing to pay? Maybe Codswallop doesn't want to associate with you.
Yeah. Well, I think the going rate. Are we paying Yost?
Well, he gets a share, right? Because isn't he?
I can't remember what your terms were, but make sure you have them down.
We'll have to check it out. Yeah.
Find that. Yeah. So Codswallop, he's also worth 10 gold pieces a day for sure because he's a goblin. No, he's worth 10 gold pieces a day because he's hiring on to the AV club. He gets an extra 2 gold pieces a day because he's a goblin. And
of course,
let's see. Yost gets a half share. Sam gets a half share. Njal gets a half share. Do we really want to have any more half shares? We kind of do, right? And we're going to have to give a half share to whoever Mike gets.
If you don't give a share, then they won't fight, right? They're not going to do adventuring shit for you. They'll just carry shit, But this guy's capable. He's a second level goblin, so he's like a true adventurer. But he's totally happy to stay out of violence's way if that's what you ask him to do. But if you want him to fight, he demands a share, like a half share.
What do you think, guys? You willing to split with more money in order to have more hammers land on more heads?
Yeah. Whatever you're feeling, man. Whatever you're feeling.
All right. He'll die rapidly anyway. Okay, we're gonna give him a half share.
Okay. Mark down the terms. Okay, 12 a day.
Codswallop door opener.
Codswallop is also super freaking jazzed. You are, what's your charisma there, tough guy?
13, basically the same as Matt.
Okay, yeah. So your loyalty for Codswallop is also 10. Thanks to that extremely generous offer. And Codswallop and Lizbeth give each other high fives. They're like, man, we fucking nailed it. This is the best outfit to belong to anywhere.
In the meantime, in my mind's eye, I'm seeing all of Trusty's being ripped to shreds by.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, yeah. We'll get
and
that.
what was his name? Onwin.
Onwin. Yeah,
Onwin died.
You'd just be taking that money back and putting it right back into funeral expenses soon enough.
Basically, yeah. Mort's the only success story so far for retainers.
Yeah, and what a success he was. Anyways, okay. So, is there anything else you wanted to do in town?
Pick up the spear or halberd or whatever it is.
Pick up the spear.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah. So we can just roll right through that. You can go to the rarities factor, and assuming you're not going to poke the hornet's nest that is Wicktrimmer, you can go in there and you can just literally just make a transaction, and you take Setsbane. Okay.
Do we want to store stuff here as well, or are we going to start storing elsewhere? Because I don't need to have a bunch of potions on me.
I think you should. There is, I believe, on the treasure tracker. There's a Wicktrimmer column. You want to stick anything in the Wicktrimmer column? Go right ahead. Right now it has a 2-handed flail, toss priest robes, the holy symbol, and I realized that I forgot to add the spear to that, but
so we can figure that stuff out, like, because we have to end the session anyways. But you can
figure it out later. That's fine.
Oh yeah, wow.
Whatever you guys want to do off time, you can dump that stuff here, and we can consider it. But if there's nothing else major you want to do in town, we can just call it and say that you're going to be moving back to Arden Vul. Is that the plan?
Yes,
100%. Yep.
Okay,
I
so
think that's fair.
you would have to.
That there are no Freemasons available. Then
that's basically the case. Like you could scrounge together a few, but the prices are so exorbitant, it would be like way beyond your capability to afford it right now. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because it's a, what do you call it, a seller's market. So the other thing is that because of the time it takes to identify these items, right? You would have to stay here a night. So you can take advantage of your deal at the Stunned Acolyte if you wish. It's 3 GP a person is the discounted rate that you have, but you get like the absolute best, inn in town, the private suite and all that sort of stuff. Last time you were here, you were meeting with the Dalton's Darlings and planning your assault on the Halflings. Remember?
I'll mark that off on the party cache here. So it's 3 of us: Niall, Yost, Sam. And now also Codswallop and Elizabeth, right?
Yeah.
That's 8?
Yeah.
Or do they not all stay with us?
That's fine. Yeah. We can figure that out as well. I don't want to spend the time at the end of the session figuring out the rates. But anyways, you stay at the Stunned Acolyte. Everyone pays up and you have a great night's sleep. You do notice at the Stunned Acolyte as well, things have definitely changed there. Like, things have not changed at the Muddy Puddle at all. In fact, if anything's changed at the Muddy Puddle, it's everyone's like happy and drinking, and there's plenty of people to hire and all that sort of stuff because of the influx of adventurers. The Stunned Acolyte, being a much more refined and upper class place, has there's a dour tone to it when you stay there, and there seems to be everyone is sort of watching each other warily, and there seems to be a lot of tension in the air among the clientele and the staff, and you see very few guests who can afford to stay at the Stunned Acolyte who are not being accompanied by a personal guard.
Oh, okay.
For some strange reason.
I wonder why that might be. So before we can roll later, it doesn't really matter. Before we go to bed, Av would use both of his healing cure light wounds on Niall. Okay. Because he's down still quite a bit from his total.
Yeah, sure. Let's just do a quick die roll over that.
Okay, so that's he's going to cast both. So I'll roll 2d6 and then add 2 to the total.
Okay.
Okay, that's 7 on the dice, so 9 total.
Great. I don't think he's at full, right? But he's pretty close, right?
He's back up to 30, and his max is 36.
Okay, cool. So, okay, so why don't we just, I'm cool with hand waving this. Do you want to, if it's cool with you guys, unless there's something else you want to do on the way up, what I'd like to do is pick it up next time, whether you have made it back safely to the plateau and you have just exited off of the hand and you are at the southern end of Arden Vul.
I like it.
Yeah. Can we just hand wave some supplies that we'll buy for the henchmen and stuff?
Yeah, we can do that. All that basic. Stuff offline. Yeah. I just want to make sure. I don't want to rush you, but I do want to hand wave stuff that we don't need to spend time on. If there is anything else, like narratively wise, or something that you really want to do that's in town, I don't want to rush you through that and say you can't do it. So just tell me, and we can pick up at Gosterbeck next time, right? But if you're okay with just getting back to like the meat of things, we can just go right back to Arden Vul.
Yeah, we need to do meat. I mean, Av is definitely like trying to cook up, some more plots to mess with the folks in Gosterwick, but I don't think he's ready to do it in such a short time frame. He's just going to think about it and plan something. Yeah,
Gosterwick will be here. You can always go back, right? Okay, cool. So you just go back the very next day, well rested. Oh, you also everyone else gains another hit point back, right? A natural hit point. So don't forget to mark that down. And I think we'll call it there, right? That'll be that'll be it. We'll pick it up next time at the very top of the Arden Vader as I get to see what they plan to do next, because I have no idea what their plans are. All right, everybody. Don't forget you've been watching 3D6 Down the Line. And also, please don't forget to go check out the brand new, spanking, shiny new website, 3d6downtheline.com. You can find all the info you could ever possibly want about our campaigns and us over there. And let us know what you think about it. And in the meantime, have a great week, everybody, and we will see you next time. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, John.